Okay. There was some smaller issues with the mic, but we're back now, and hopefully the sound is okay. Okay then, let's start over. Welcome to some chill with reading. This is the next part in We Three Kings. So, as I mentioned before, which no one heard, take a seat, relax, and let's start. Now the sentence. No one's point of view. Hello, Bella, Anastasia says calmly. You? What? How? Bella shrieks again. You're with them? Do you even know who they are? How could you do this? To Charlie, to me. You're supposed to be in college. How could you be so selfish? Bella's rant grating on the nerves of almost every vampire in the room. It also grated on the ears of her older sister, Anastasia rubbing her eyes and looking upwards as if suddenly questioning why she decided to step into the throne room to save her sorry sister's ass in the first place. Caius and Marcus growling loudly in warning, not taking kindly to their mate being talked bad about. Yes, I do believe I know who they are, otherwise I wouldn't be sitting here. Unlike you, little sister, I'm not ignorant of the world around me or selfish enough to believe the world resolves around me and my own problems. Honestly, can you see past your own nose for like 2 seconds? Or your precious Edward? Don't you think I talked to Dad since I've been gone? Unlike you, I don't actually despise every second with him. Oh wait, I lived with him all my life. He knows I'm in Volterra, and seriously, what do you think? Just stayed locked up in a tower with a dragon to guard me? God, you are so stupid sometimes. Wake up, Bella. You're so self-righteous sometimes. I'm not a fucking idiot. Anastasia scoffs, rolling her eyes again. This time, Edward was the one growling, shifting as if to move threateningly towards Anastasia. Caius and Marcus lean forward even more. Jane and the rest of the guard closing ranks as if just itching for a fight, daring Edward to make a move on their queen. At least I'm not with a bunch of murderers. Do you hear what they're talking about? Are you just going to let this happen and be part of it? Bella screams, her voice racing to a high thrill. Oh, don't get all high and mighty on me. Anastasia throws her hands up into the air. You make your own choices, Bella, so don't try and guilt me or drag me into your own choices. It is not my fault you got yourself into their mess. They are laws for a fucking reason. Humans have them, vampires have them. The Volturi uphold the law. You are not above it, and neither are the Cullens. What about you? You're in it, and you're human. What right do you have? Why shouldn't you be killed? Bella bites back, spiteful. You spiteful little wench. Caius growls, suddenly lunging off his throne towards Bella, having heard enough. He could not stand by and have any more insults be thrown at his mate, as wonderful as it was to see his mate be such a spitfire, as if he could be more enormed and in love with her than he already was. Edward moves to intervene, but in a flash is thrown out of the way by Caius himself and across the room, marble and stone crackling and rippling under his impact. Hands closed around Bella's throat. Caius growls threateningly, eyes dark black. That is my mate, the queen of vampires, the queen of the Volturi you speak of. Caius hisses lowly. Let me kill her, rid us of her, Miyamoto. Caius, she is my sister, Anastasia says softly, pleadingly, even though her sister's words still hurt. All she wanted was to protect her. As she rises from her place on her throne, Marcus easily gliding beside her, arms sliding around her waist protectively. Half-sister, Caius growls, pressure on Bella's windpipe increasingly only subtly. Nonetheless, let her go, please, Anastasia says, offering a hand to Caius. Caius growls again, loud and threateningly, glaring at Bella once more as she struggles for air, scrabbling for a grip on Caius' hands, though it did little to relieve the pressure, before Caius finally releases her, though reluctantly, dropping Bella to the floor. The blonde-haired king returns to his mate's side, fitting around her protectively, a heated, maniac glare at the Cullens and his mate's younger half-sister. Well, Miyamoto, I'm afraid Caius is right. The law, she is vulnerability. Aro apologizes, turning to look at his mate. If she betrays our secrets, they are not prepared to destroy her. Unless you do intend to give her mortality? Aro questions, looking unhappy at that thought. And if I did? Edward asks. Why, then you would be free to go home and give my regards my friend Carlyle, Aro easily says. But I'm afraid you would have to mean it then. They do, Bella cuts in abruptly. Alice, tell them. Tell them what you've seen. I've always been meant for it. I was born for it. Anastasia felt like her sister was bragging and demanding Alice of it all at the same time, as if that was an achievement or some sort of prize. Honestly, could her sister get more self-centered? While she herself was to be changed and spend eternity with her own mates, she wasn't exactly in a rush to be changed. It was painful for one, and two, she did want to enjoy some sort of humanity while she had it left. Anastasia believed life to be cherished, that life had passion and vibrancy to it. And she had much she wanted to do and see, even outside the Volterra castle walls, which she had persuaded her mates to allow her to do, within reason. Of course, those were thoughts for another time, given the situation at hand. Alice suddenly offered her hand to Aro. That was fascinating, Aro exclaims. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Alice smiles, looking strained. Aro, Anastasia beckons, offering her own hand and therefore her thoughts to her mate. Aro turns back towards his mate, looking sincerely delighted to be allowed to touch his mate again, gliding quickly over to his mate and eagerly pressing a hand to Anastasia's. An excellent idea and point, El Meamore. Brilliant, Aro answers, his smile gentle as he presses a kiss to the back of his mate's hand before dropping it. Anastasia smiles briefly before allowing Aro to announce the sentence. My dear Anastasia makes a point. Alice's visions are subject to change based on whim and will of those in it. It is clear Bella means much to you. However, given the circumstances that it would upset our own mate to have her half sister meet her demise, and that we ourselves have a human mate, we have decided in this case some leniency is allowed. This said, dear Isabella must return within a year, Aro announces. Edward opens his mouth to object. We will visit, to be sure that you follow through on your side. Were I you, I would not delay too long. The Volturi do not offer second chances. Caius hisses slowly, cutting off Edward's would-be protests and curling around Anastasia more protectively. On that note, Heidi will be here at any moment. Aro claps cheerfully. In that case, perhaps we better leave soon rather than later. Edward edges. Yes, that's a good idea. Accidents do happen. Please wait below until after dark, though, if you don't mind. Aro asks. Of course, Edward replies. And here, take this. You're a little conspicuous, Aro offers, Felix taking off his dark cloak. It suits you. Thank you, Aro. We will wait below. Goodbye, young friends. Aro bids goodbye as Edwards urges Bella and Alice out of the throne room's doors. Bella desperately trying to catch her half-sister's gaze, but couldn't as Aro blocks her view. Il mio amore, may we see you after? Bella hears Otto asks her sister. Bella couldn't understand. Her thoughts jumbled. She was so confused to ask how and why her sister got to be residing within the walls of Volterra, let alone to what it seemed to be in the relationship with the head of the Volturi. Inside the throne room, Anastasia stands surrounded by her three mates. Caius, now calm enough not to go tearing after her sister. Feed. I'll return to my studying. I'll see you later. Anastasia answers with promise, pressing a light kiss to the cheeks of her mates before sweeping out of the room, her guards falling in step after her. Exiting the throne room, Anastasia hums lightly to herself. Light footsteps, lit and grateful, almost as she was already a vampire, as she walks through the reception area towards the personal quarters of the Volterra castle. How could you? Bella asks, yanking herself out of Edward's grip to step towards her sister on somewhat shaky feet. Bella! Alice tries to intervene, grabbing for Bella's arm, giving the Volturi guard a worried look. Anastasia pauses her step, turning towards her sister with a blank look. How could I what? Anastasia asks, her voice carefully neutral. How could you let them do this? Bella cries, stomping her foot. Make them change this. You're the queen, are you not? Exactly like a child, a spoiled child, Anastasia thinks. You have no right to question or demand anything of the queen, human. You are insignificant. Alec begins to snarl. Alec, enough. It's fine. Anastasia calms, pressing a hand to Alec's chest. My queen, Alec grumbles, but is compliant, sending Bella a heated look and a low growl. I was under the impression you wanted this, Bella. What was it you said? You were born to be a vampire? Anastasia says dryly. You complain now because you suddenly have a time limit. That's not how things work. I may be queen, but I do understand law and ethics. If I do not follow them, believe myself above them, how could I expect anyone to follow them? The kings have ruled. I cannot, will not ask them to overrule it. It is fair, more than fair. You have been given immortality to live by someone you love. That is more than many get. You are being selfish and childish. I suggest you change it, little sister, or your immortality will forever have you stuck that way. Have a safe journey home. With that, Anastasia walks past, her guard filling out behind her. Now a reflection of time passed. Anastasia's point of view. As it was said, I grew up in Forks, Washington, with my father Charlie, and for a short time my little sister Isabella and her mother Renee. Charlie and Renee were married for a short time, between the ages of when I was 4 and 10, before Renee took Isabella to Arizona and left me and my father. While Renee was certainly nice, I never much saw her as my mom, or if I did, I always preferred my dad. I suppose you could say I was always a bit of a daddy's girl. I was, still to this day. After the divorce, people expected me to miss something. Like I was supposed to miss my mom, supposed to miss something. A part of me that was irrevocably lost, never to be found again. And they pitied me, treated me like I didn't understand the reason why. I thought it was stupid. I didn't want pity, and I wasn't stupid. I understood the reason why. I saw how miserable both my dad and Renee were, but I had always been a pretty smart child. Perhaps more than a 10-year-old should have been. Dad told me I had started reading at 3, and by kindergarten I was already beginning to write and do simple math. Either way, I suppose I did miss something. I missed my sister. I was the big sister after all. Dad always said I had to protect her and look after her. Wasn't that what sisters were for? But now she was thousands of miles away from me. But time passes anyway. Soon I was well through middle school and on to high school, seeing my sister only during the summers, though she never seemed to enjoy it as much as I did, missing the heat of the Arizona sun. Now after effect. No one's point of view. I don't understand how she could do this to me. She's my sister. Bella cries, sniffling into Edward's arms after her sister swept out of the front entryway with her guard. Hey, it's okay, Bella. Everything is fine, okay? We'll figure something out, okay? Edward tries to calm, pressing a lingering kiss to Bella's crown and tightening his hold around Bella, feeling anger at the Volturi and Bella's sister. A sister he evidently didn't know Bella even had. Bella, it's really not that bad. Alice tries to convince. Alice, Edward hisses, shooting his sister a glare. I'm just saying, Edward, the Volturi, they aren't known to be forgiving or understanding. You know what Carla has told us before. It isn't the perfect situation, perhaps, but they have ruled. We really shouldn't try and... No, Alice, Edward interrupts. It's fine. We'll do something. Carlisle will know what to do to convince them to let us have more time. Do you think? Bella sniffles. Promise, Bella, Edward assures, brushing a lock of hair out of Bella's face. Alice sighs, clenching her jaw and looking away. She was sure nothing good would come of this. While she didn't necessarily like the Volturi, she did, she supposed, understand Anastasia's point. The Volturi existed for a reason, and if they let another vampire and human go away for one reason, the world got around others may assume that was okay, and soon the entire vampire race could run amok. It seemed her vision would be coming true a lot sooner than expected. As the two Cullen siblings and Bella left Volterra, across the castle, Anastasia had already dismissed her guard to go join the feeding, returning to her schoolwork, settling on the bed in the master bedroom she shared with her mates. She also had her own room for when she decided to kick them out of her bed when she was mad enough to do so. Suddenly, the doors to the master bedroom flew open, and before Anastasia could make a noise or blink, an icy cold body was pressed atop hers lengthwise. Diletto, Caius purrs slowly, his lips brushing against Anastasia's neck. Hello, Caius, Anastasia greets, tilting her neck for Caius. Caius purrs, a noise a vampire instinctively makes to calm their mate or show contentment, their body pressing closer against Anastasia as he pushes Anastasia's textbook off the bed. Well then, Anastasia huffs out a laugh as it thunks on the floor. Pay attention to me, Miyamot, Caius demands. Okay. Anastasia laughs again, wiggling out from under Caius and rolling over as he allows her to. Caius wedging a leg between her own. So how is my strong warrior? Anastasia questions as Caius nibbles on her neck and continues to purr in contentment, completely ignoring his mate's question. Honestly still upset about his mate's younger half-sister's comment earlier. Just the thought of Anastasia being hurt, let alone being killed, set every instinct and part of him on edge. It made Caius want to tear everything in a 1,000-mile radius to shreds and then go on a homicidal rampage. In fact, it had made the brothers so upset once Heidi had gotten back, Aro hadn't even bothered to put up his normal facade of tour host. Instead, the three of them had quite literally just slaughtered every human by breaking their necks after taking a few to fill their thirst. Though, admittedly, their blood loss had been a little more than usual. Hey, are you okay? Are you still upset about earlier? Anastasia asks, stroking Caius' hair soothingly. Caius' hold tightens around Anastasia instinctively. He didn't want to talk about it. He didn't even want to think about it. I'll take that as a yes, Anastasia answers, feeling Caius' hold tighten around her. You won't let anything happen to me, and those are just words. You got nothing to worry about. Miyamot, I do not care. I dislike the implications. She may be your sister, but she is nothing to me. Insignificant senza senso in Tuli. She does not speak to you or about you that way. Caius hisses protectively, curling around his mate protectively. And I love you for that, Caius, my strong warrior. Anastasia decides not to press any further, seeing how truly upset Caius was by her sister's words. If Caius was upset, no doubt Aro and Marcus was as well. They were going to be pissed once Aro figured out what happened after she left the throne room. As if it were, Caius just tended to be the most short-tempered of the three. Screw her sister and her selfishness. He was seriously gonna bite her in the ass one day. Maybe literally. Speaking of which, Aro and Marcus come gliding in a moment later, the master doors of their room clicking shut behind them since Caius had been too impatient to close them himself. "Hello, Bellissimo," Marcus greets, his expression lighting up immediately upon setting his eyes upon his mate curled on their bed next to his brother. "Hello, Marcus," Anastasia replies, smiling in return. "Il mi amor," Otto groans in Italian, quickly shedding his cloak and climbing on the bed, fitting himself next to his mate, Marcus joining after he has also placed his cloak away. "Hello, Aro," Anastasia answers, allowing Aro to press against her bare skin. Aro gladly receiving flashes of her thoughts over the last few hours. Aro's expression darkens, however, a rumble forming in his chest as he replies Bella's tantrum from his mate's memories. "Relax, Aro." Anastasia tries to calm, pressing their skin together more, relying other thoughts to Aro, trying to wash away the rage and overprotectiveness that no doubt Anastasia knows Aro is thinking. "Perhaps we should shorten the time frame. See how they like that then," Aro hisses vindictively. "Show them the evil two is not to be messed with." No, that is not the answer, sweetie," Anastasia denies, brushing fingers over Aro's arm. Aro burrows his nose into Anastasia's collarbone, nosing at her skin and throat to calm himself. "What happened, Aro?" Caius protectively, Marcus letting out his own growl of disapproval and curling more protectively around Anastasia. "And I can see you three won't drop this for anything. So while you are all talking about it and getting huffy, I'm going to take a nap. I have a bit of a headache from school anyways." Anastasia sighs dramatically. "But no, going off to kill my half-sister is not an option, and neither is taking off any more time. Got it?" Aro rolls his own eyes, pouting his own agreement to his mate. "Very well, il mio amore," Otto acquiesces, looking unhappy at the thought. "As you wish, amor," Marcus promises, brushing a kiss to Anastasia's temple. "We shall wake you up for your dinner. Sleep well." And that will be it for today. I hope you all have a wonderful time here. Thank you for the follow, and I hope you will join me for the next reading and chill. Till next time, teacups, be sweet.